同学们好, good to see you all. So it is the 9th of August. We're doing systematic review of the hand form. We are going to sort of slowly ramp up because the reason why I'm doing systematic review and the reason why we do the hand form at all is to learn the fundamentals. And so what we do in the hand form is we learn a fixed set of movements. Those movements are representative of the methods and the techniques that we use in general if you were to ever you think of using this for self-defense, which I hope not to, but that's why we do the hand form. So let us begin, and as always I'm going to start with just a little bit of standing practice. Standing practice has 3 goals: to practice your body shape, to practice your breathing, and to calm the mind. So let us start with that. So feet shoulder width apart or a little bit wider, feet parallel. And let's just begin by bending the legs, sinking the legs slightly, and just feel the weight on your feet. So check you've got weight even on both feet. They're even forward back. So you can't lift your heels easily or the balls of your toes. And the weight is also even on the inside and the outside. So we call those 2 things weight over the bubbling well and crotch rounded. So now let's do a couple of minutes of standing practice. So your arms are rounded in front of your chest, about shoulder height. And let's do our posture checks. So start with the head lifting up. Crown of your head is extending up, so your neck is getting longer. And as you extend up, the rest of the body from the neck on down is sinking. So number 2, feel your shoulder blades sinking down your back. Feel your elbows are dropping. There's a weight pulling down the elbows. Number 3, absorb the chest and round the back. So this is imagining your arms are the surface of a balloon that are being pulled out, expanded in all directions. So in fact, what we're thinking about, if you think of your arms extending to your elbows away from your spine, you're opening your spine left, right. And as you relax the waist, that's the 4th one, dropping your hips straight down, you're extending your spine up, down. So you've got this up, down, relaxing, which is opening, loosening and extending, and left, right. So with this posture, just attend to your breathing. You're breathing naturally in and out through the nose if you can, tongue resting on the roof of your mouth, mouth gently closed, teeth gently touching. And as you breathe in, your belly expands, and as you breathe out, it contracts. And your stance is helping you with this breathing. So just to check that, for example, tilt your head back and then check your breathing. So I can't breathe as easily anymore. My abdomen is tightened up. So bring the head back to a nice vertical position, and your breathing should ease up a bit. And then if you drop your head, like let it just fall down, you'll find that your breathing tightens up again. And you can do that for all 4 of your posture checks. But we're just going to stop there. Gradually we'll practice longer as we go from class to class in different postures. But there we are. So that's our standing practice. Last week we did opening, we did prepare, which in fact is this standing practice. We did opening and we did ward off left. Today we're going to do the rest of Grassbird's Tail. Going to review that, look at the methods, look at the techniques. But to warm up, let's just do the whole form, the whole first section together. So I'll face in the same direction as you. Imagine we're all looking forward towards the camera. So let us begin. First section. Prepare. Opening. Grassbird's tail. Ward off left. Ward off right. Rollback. Press. Push. Single whip. Raise hands. Step forward. White crane. Spreads its wings. Left brush knee. Hand strums the lute. Left brush knee. Right brush knee. Left brush knee. Hand strums the lute. Left brush knee. Step forward, parry block and punch. Apparent closing up. Cross hands. Closing. Original position. Stop. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Hey, Yali, great to see you. Welcome. Okay, so let us just do from the beginning, opening Grassbird's tail. I'll give a bunch of cues, and then we'll review opening and ward off left, and then we'll do the others. So we're in prepare, feet shoulder width apart. And so here in prepare, just think about the posture checks. Head up, shoulders down, absorb the chest, relax the waist, and check your weight on your feet. So even forward, back, and inside out. Opening, rotate and lift the arms up to shoulder height, keeping the palms at shoulder width apart, pressing down, upper arms, forearms, palms, keeping the palms parallel to the ground, almost to the bottom. Ward off left, shift slightly to the left with body turning, open the right toe. Sit forward, circle up, come forward, ward off left. Your torso is vertical, you're looking to the right-hand side. Ward off right, shift your weight slightly to the right with body turning, pivot the left foot, the left arm goes slightly to the right. Now grab and pull to the left, looking in the direction of the left hand, close and step, ward off right. Roll back, both arms rotate as you turn with the body to the corner, Now coming back, shifting weight back, rotate the waist to bring the right arm to the other corner. Press big circle with the fingertips of the left hand, pressing in the forearm center, pushing up and out with the back leg. Push, flatten the palms, square the chest. Bring the palms back almost in front of the chest, drop them down, keep them vertical, pushing up and out, start with the legs, go to the waist, go to the hands, and we're in push. And stop. So the things that we did in, just a couple of things to review in opening. So one of the things we talked about, and I'll point this out for a while, and then we'll probably just stop because it's the same thing over and over again. There's basically two things you can do with your arms. One is swing, so you can just swing your arms, and the other is rotating your arms. And so what we're doing when we're doing opening, in fact, is when we begin, there's actually a swing and rotate mixed here. So we don't rotate first and then lift. We do a rotate and lift at the same time. Arms come up and then arms come down. The other thing, and so when we think about methods, so arm movements is one. Another one is waist movements. And so today we might do a little bit of waist movement practice, but as we talked about last time, there's moving from what we call the horizontal waist movement, and then there's the vertical movement. One of them is the chest goes forward and back. And actually it goes in a circle, tiny circle. But when we are lifting the arms, what's making the arms go is the chest movement forward. So there's actually, the waist is leading the limbs. And then when the arms come down, the chest is coming back. So that's actually implicit in all of the movements. You may not find it or notice it or care about it until one day you do, but just so that you know that it's there. So then the next one, so we've done opening, ward off left. So we're going to shift our weight slightly to the left, open the right toe, sink down, and step out with the arms closed. Now, a couple of things to notice here. You'll see and you'll remember from the form that sometimes when we step, we bring the foot in and step out, and other times we don't. And so what's the guideline? When do we bring the foot in and when do we just step straight out? And the guideline is when the feet are shoulder width apart, or when the feet are wider than shoulder width apart, we bring it in. But here, because we're starting with our feet shoulder width apart, the foot just goes straight forward. We'll see when we do ward off right, the feet are more than shoulder width apart, which is why we bring the foot in and step out with ward off right. Then the next thing is the arm movements. So we've done rotate, sink, arms close, and root. So this is another method that we use all the time. When we root, the arms are closed. Then when we shift forward, the arms open. So for example, when we do, if you think about it, when we do brush knee, so we go, let's start on this side. I'm going to go close and step. So my arms are closed here. I'm rooting with my front foot. Judy, you have a question. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I spaced out when you were talking about the feet for a moment, and just to review, I'm used to moving my foot in and then out in that movement, but is that correct?
With ward off left?
Yeah, with ward off left.
No.
Correct.
So the way the standard way we do ward off left is open the right toe, and then the left foot just goes straight forward into a bow stance.
It's straight. Thank you.
It's straight. Yep. which is slightly harder than bringing it in and taking it out.
Yeah.
So, trust the young family to do it hard. The very first big movement of the form, they'll do it in an unusual way. Okay. Now, the next thing that we reviewed last week, and I want to build on that exercise, was the arm movements. So we did the arms open and close. So let's just practice that together. So let's start with the arms. So I'm going to imagine that you're mirroring me. So, this would be, if you put your hand on the screen, it would be your left hand. It's my right. But I'm going to talk as if I'm talking to you and you're mirroring. So let's start with the left hand up. So the hand is, when the elbow is down, palm is forward. When the elbow is up, palm is back. And then it closes here. It goes back, elbow is up, so palm is down. You rotate and close. And the same on the other side. If you have your right hand up, so elbow down, palm up, elbow up, palm back, and close. And so let's just do these together smoothly. So close one side. So check your palms. So the upper palm is facing forward, the lower one is facing back. Rotate so they flip and close. Open, rotate, close. Nice. Open, rotate, close. One thing I want you to be aware of, if you can, is this upper hand. Bend the wrist so that the palm isn't in line with the forearm, it's actually sitting slightly. So if you can, put a slight bend in your upper wrist. Yeah. Open, rotate, close. Open, rotate, close. Now we're going to start adding some stepping. So I'd like you to do the Charlie Chaplin stance. So heels together, feet out at 45 degrees. So let's just do this, and we're going to add a body turn. So open, close. When you close, now turn, your right hand should be up on top. Your chest is open to the right. Okay, open, rotate when you're square, close. Now your chest is open to the left. Open, rotate, close. Open, rotate, close. Now the next thing we're going to do is, when we close, we're going to step out. So open, rotate, close, and step out into a bow stance. So you're touching with your left heel, the right hand is on top. We're just going to go back. We're not going to finish the movement here. So just go back, open, rotate, close, and step. Open, rotate, close, and step. Open, rotate, close, and step. Next time, I just want to pause in the middle and show you something. Open. Now, when I shift my weight from one foot to the other, it's actually a waist movement from side to side that's helping me shift my center of gravity. So close with your chest to the right and root. Next thing I want you to do is, when you root, sink your body forward slightly. So don't be up, you want to be forward. Open, rotate, close, and step, and root and sink forward slightly. Open, rotate, close, and step. Now rooting is, you can feel the front foot has enough friction on the ground, because it's the whole heel that it's pushing back, and the back foot is pushing forward. Open, rotate, close, and step. Open, rotate, close, and step. Now go forward. Yeah. So let's do that again. So we're starting in Charlie Chaplin. Now we're gonna finish this. So let's start here. Left arm on top. Open, rotate, close and step, and lift. And we're doing ward off left, so your body is turning all the way to the right side. Open, rotate, close and step, root, shift your weight forward, turn the body, left arm is now to, sorry, your right arm is now to your left side. Open, close and step, ward off. Open, close and step, ward off. And stop. So that's a way of beginning to get the movement in the form. And one of the things you can do in single movement practice, since we're all in different places, it's hard to do this exactly the same together. But once you're here, so for example, you're doing this movement, you can actually go faster and just try and go from close and step to the lift and just feel your body turning and the lift happening. Feel that you're pushing up on somebody's arm and you're pulling down on their hand here. Good. The one thing that I want you to pay attention to, and this may just be an effect of video, but I notice that some of us, when we're opening, the arm seems to be very high. It really doesn't go much more than maybe eye height, forehead height. So it's not high, it's just this kind of height. Yeah. Any questions? Good. Yes, Maria.
I actually put a full-length mirror here so that I can see myself move. And I was astonished to see that I don't bend my knees because I really can't do it. And I can see that your Charlie Chaplin move, mine is not, wide enough. So I don't know how okay that is because it's a limitation.
I'm sorry, say again?
It's a limitation that I have.
It's a limitation. Yeah. Well, the big achievement is that you've actually noticed it now.
Yes.
So now it's something you can work on, right? And actually, for me, what I found is that that's partly I've just become rather fond of standing practice, but standing practice is a sort of a low impact way to gradually strengthen your legs, get a little bit more strength. And so is just doing the form. But one of the things that let's look at now, Maria, is going from ward off left to ward off right. So there's another thing there that is about knee bends. So let's do that. Let's just check. Are there any other questions or comments about what we've done so far? Yes, Yali.
So JP, when we do the preparation,
Yep.
you said don't bend, but when we do the stationary practice,
Yep.
we bend a little bit because
Yes.
it's more comfortable. So I find the first step, the preparation to the left ward off very stiff. Do you feel that?
Very good. Very interesting question. So let me make sure I understand what you're saying, Yali. You're saying because your legs are not sinking, you find this movement is quite stiff, this opening movement?
Yes, I actually have to twist from my waist to make my body really, not to make legs stiff.
Yes, but that is exactly what we're supposed to do, Yali, because I've become more and more aware when I listen to Master Young Jin. He always says, with body turning, with waist turning, open the feet. And so the principle that we have is the waist leads the limbs, whether the limbs are the arms or the feet. So here in when you go to ward off left, you shift your weight slightly to the left, And then with body turning, which mostly is sort of hips, but it comes out of the waist, you use that to open your feet. So yeah, do think about that. Now, the other thing which will help is then you have to sink here,
Yeah,
right? And that goes
yeah,
to the issue that Maria raised, right? Because, you know, when we're already at this height, then it's almost easier to step out because we know we're there. But
yeah,
here we sink and then we open. Now, one of the things that those of you who have not done the senior form, which is a new form that Master Young's developed, he starts with opening, but it's actually optional. You can actually bend your knees when your arms come down in this new form. You don't have to keep your legs straight. It just so happens that the way we do the traditional form, we don't bend our knees at the beginning. But let's take that one forward. So let's say we're in ward off left. So perform ward off left. So we are in ward off left. So we're in a bow stance, torso vertical, left arm to the side, right palm by the right hip. So we're going to shift our weight slightly to the right. With body turning, turn the left toe to the corner. So the left toe starts to the front, and you're going to turn with body turning. You're going to turn the left toe in 45 degrees. And in fact, what's going to happen here is when your body turns, you'll see that you'll just keep the relative position of your arm and your chest the same. You'll see that your left arm crosses the center line and goes slightly to the right because your body is making your foot turn in. It's not just a foot turn. It's a whole body turn. Then what we're going to do is we're going to shift our weight back. Now, check where my feet are. My feet are more than shoulder width apart. I would bet yours are as well at this point. So we're going to bring the right foot in and then step it out into a bow stance and go into a bow stance. So that's this principle. So when we were here, open the foot, there at shoulder width, I just go straight forward. Once I've done ward off left, shift my weight over, turn the toe. Now, when I look at my feet, they're much wider than shoulder width. That's why I bring the right foot in and step it out, heel, ball, toe, bend, knee, into a bow stance. So this is, when we talk about fundamental methods, this is one of the fundamental methods. When do we bring the foot in? When do we step it out? Another one actually is how we release weight to pivot. So for example, just think about doing ward off left. We say shift the weight slightly to the left. It's just so that you have less than 50% on that heel. Then you can pivot the heel. Then I go into ward off left. So now I've got 60% on my left foot. In order to pivot that, I need to get less than 50%. So I shift my weight back slightly. I've got less than 50%. Turn the body, then shift over. Step out into a bow stance. Now, to Maria's point, what we do is, for example, when we start in ward off left, once we've done this sink to here, this now establishes the height of our hips, with a few exceptions, things like snake creeps down or needle at sea bottom. This is the height we're going to, and standing up and kicking, this is what it's always going to be. So when I shift my weight from ward off left, when I shift my weight back, you can see I have to bend my back knee. Let me do the stance this way. So let's say I don't bend my back knee and I've straightened my leg. You'll see my center goes up. My hips go up if I just straighten my front leg, right? Because I'm keeping my back leg straight. That means to keep my hips level, when I go back, my back knee has to bend. So front knee straight, back leg, front knee bent, back knee taiji straight, and then it changes. Front one is straight, back one is bent. So we go from one to the other. How are you managing with that, Maria? Does that work for you?
Yes, it does work, but I have a weak left knee, so it's tricky sometimes.
That's tricky. Yep. So one of the things that I want to, yeah, so let's just finish the footwork here. So we've done ward off left, right? So we're in ward off left, and we're just focusing on the footwork. Shift weight back slightly with body turning, turn the left toe in, shift weight back, pick up the right foot, put it back out in a bow stance, shift weight forward into a bow. So so here we're talking about moving from one stance to another, doing a transition from one stance to another. And in traditional young family Tai Chi, there are 3, call them requirements, principles for moving like that. And the 3 of them are, maybe you remember, think to yourself, do I remember what those 3 are? The first is we move smoothly and continuously, right? So we don't, let's say if we're here, we don't go, up, stop, go. It's one pace all the way through. The second is we test the ground. We move like a cat. So pick up the front foot, put it down gently, and then push it through. Another image that people use is it's as if you're walking on thin ice, and you're always testing the ice. Can you come back? And then the third requirement, so the first one was smoothly and continuously same pace. Second one was walk like a cat. And the third one is pick your foot up just enough to clear the ground. So for example, what we do not do, we don't drag the foot on the ground, and we don't pick it up high and step it out down again. So it's like an inch or two, just a little bit. So that's a requirement throughout the whole form. That's a method that we learn here or see here for the first time. Judy. Okay, good. So now let's do the arm movements. So ward off left, going to ward off right. So shift weight slightly, body turns. Come back with the left arm rotating and grabbing. The right arm is making a nice round gorilla arm shape here. Close the arms as the foot comes in and out. Root. This is what we were doing earlier. So you're rooting and leaning, and ward off right. But here your arm position is different. We all know this, but let's just review. Right elbow, right knee in a line. Right arm is covering a quarter of a circle. Your left palm fingertips are pointing to the right forearm center, about a fist width away from the forearm. And your center of the forearm is in your center line. So if you take a straight line from your sternum and take it out to the side, that's where you are. And then posture, head up, looking straight ahead, and stop. So let's do that a couple of times together. I'm going to change direction. We're in ward off left, torso vertical. Shift weight back slightly with body turning, turn the left toe in. The left arm comes across the body. Now you're going to do a grab and rotate to the left, close in and step, ward off right. Another method, remember I was saying we have swing with the arm and we have rotate with the arm. Here we do a swing and then we do a swing and rotate. So let's just attend to that. You'll see, and now once I've done it once, you'll see it everywhere in the form. So here we're in ward off left, shift weight back slightly. When with body turning, I turn my toe in, my left arm is just moving. It's like a zombie arm. It's just swinging. But when it comes back, as it swings back, it also rotates. So it rotates and it sits at the end. Then I do ward off right. Good. I want to talk about the stances. We haven't really talked much about the 2 bow stances, so let's just practice them. So start in parallel stance, and actually let's just start like this, and I'm going to imagine you're going to mirror me. But we're going to do both sides, so it doesn't really matter. So shift your weight slightly to the right, open the left toe, shift your weight over onto the left, step out into a bow stance. Shift your weight forward. Now, here your torso is vertical. So your torso is vertical, your hips are actually open more than corner. The line, your chest is more than corner, but I want you to just look straight ahead. This is actually the same. This is in fact how we do single whip. So we're in this stance here. So feel your weight on your legs. Make sure your crotch is rounded. Make sure your back hip is down, your torso is vertical, head is up, shoulders sinking down. Try and line your nose up with your front foot. So don't have your nose pointing in that direction, but your eyes are looking straight. Turn your head. You might find your neck stretches a bit, so if it is uncomfortable, don't do it. Now we're going to change sides. So shift weight back, pick up the front foot. We're going to change to horizontal waist movement to shift your weight. Step out into a bow stance, shift forward. Again, the torso is vertical, so open your hips to more than corner, chest more than corner, but looking straight ahead. So feel your head up, feel your waist dropping down, feel your waist relaxing. Shoulders down, elbows down, absorb the chest. And you can do standing practice in this pose. Now we'll do that. That's the stance we use in ward off left. Ward off right, shift weight back, pick up the front foot, change, can use a little bit of a waist movement. Step out with your right foot. Now we're going to go into the forward bow stance. Here, this is like in push. Our torso is in line with the back leg. Our chest is square, head is up. But again, check your footwork. Check that you have 60% on the front, 40% on the back, but make sure that your back heel is grounded, isn't float. It's really easy for your back heel to float up. Push back with your front leg so that your back heel is also on the ground. And let's change sides. So shift back your weight, pick up the front foot, shift your weight with a little bit of a body shift with the waist, step out and come into essentially push position. Yeah. And so feel an extension in your arms. Feel the balloon that your arms are a surface of pushing open. If that's too hard for you, you can just drop your arms and hold them in front of your tummy like this. You can still feel that extension there. And we'll finish by stepping forward with the back foot, the right foot, drop the arms, circle them up as the legs straighten and press down. Okay. I'm going to move on to press and push now. Are there any questions about ward off right before we do that? Okay. So we've done ward off right. Rollback, press and push. So we've done ward off right. I'm going to face you. I'm not mirroring. So I'm in a right bow stance. I've done ward off right. So let's actually do rollback together. So rollback. As the waist turns, both arms rotate. You finish with the right arm pointing to the right corner. Shifting your weight back gradually with body turning, you end up with your right arm pointing to the left corner. Let's do that again. So we start in ward off right, rotate both arms as the body turns to the right. sitting back your weight, shift your weight, come to the left. Now, what I want to just review is the footwork. The footwork looks trivial. It's not entirely trivial. So the first thing is when we turn to the right, try not to twist your hips. You're just going to turn at the waist when you go to the right. Then when you come to the left, you're going to sit your weight back. So you're going to go from 60% on the right leg to 70% on the left leg. So most of your weight is on the back leg. What I want you to pay attention to is that your front knee doesn't collapse in. Keep your crotch rounded, so keep your front knee and your front toe in a line even as you sit back. So we're going to open and sit back, but make sure that you keep your crotch rounded. I'll do it in this direction. Okay. Roll back. Both arms rotate to the corner. Sitting back. When you finish, your body, you can see my body is tilted slightly in this direction. It's not vertical, it's tilted, but it's tilted in the direction of my front foot. You want to make sure that your body is coming in this direction and not in this direction, because you don't have a leg here. So you want to, when you tilt your body, tilt it in the direction of the front foot. Let's continue. We're going to do press. We'll start from ward off right. Roll back. Now press with body turning. Circle the right arm and the left palm on the right forearm center in your center line. Pushing with the back leg, come forward. Do it in this direction. So we've done roll back. You'll see that as I'm using a body turn to close my arm. So this right arm is actually rotating as I turn my chest. So again, it's a chest turn that's making the arm rotate. And the left palm is on the right forearm, pressing up and out. So it's slightly, so when you do rollback, you come from up to slightly down. You close here, you go from slightly down back to shoulder height. And from here, let's do press. We've done press, we'll do push. So push, flatten the palms. Now, pushing back with the legs, bring the palms back until they're almost in front of your chest. Sit in front of your chest. Now, pushing with the back legs, back leg, come forward, finish in push. Let's do this again from press. Flatten the palms, left palm over right palm. Palms are square, chest is square. Bend the knees as you sit back the weight. Arms come back, sit in front of your chest. Check that your palms are vertical here. If you bring your hands too far back or too low, you can't actually get your palm vertical. So just far enough and low enough that you can keep your palm vertical. Now press forward and out. One more time. We've done press. Flatten the palms, open the hands, shifting your weight back horizontally, drop, and then make a circle, pushing up and out. Are there any questions? So yes, Susan is here. So we've talked about methods, which are things like how we step, how we move, how we use the waist. There are also the martial art techniques that we should be thinking about as we do the forms. So let me just go through those with my beautiful colleague here. Okay, so let's just review ward off left first. So Susan is going to punch with the right. So I'm going to connect with my left, rotate her arm, step through, and lift. And we're going to do it the other direction. You can, and let's come a little bit closer here. So Susan's going to come in, I'm going to connect. So you can see I've got a grab here. I'm going to step next to her and I'm going to lift. Now, if I lift here and pull down here, what I end up with is a joint lock. If I do it really hard, Susan ends up with a broken elbow. But you can see this is why my torso is vertical here, because I am next to Susan here. Go away. Okay, now we'll do, let's try it on this side, ward off right. Susan is going to punch, sorry. So I'm going to now start with my left hand again. So you'll see that I'm going to connect, rotate and grab. When you remember when you go from left to right, there's this movement. That's this punch, rotate and grab. I'm going to step in. And again, I've got this joint lock. I've got a ward off with my right arm. I've got a grab with my left, and I've got a joint lock here. Other side, please. So you can see that we've got this ward off energy and we've got this grab energy, and together they give us a joint lock. Now let's start on the other side. Yes. So let's say I've done, and let's come in a little bit. So let's say I've done this ward off here with Susan. I'm controlling her elbow. If she knows what to do, she's going to rotate her elbow. So I've no longer got anything because she's turned her arm from this way, rotate Susan, to this way. So what do I do now? I go around the back and I do rollback. So let's do it here. So let's say we're starting here. Susan's going to rotate. I'm going to do rollback. So you can see that it's this movement is the rollback. I don't have to start off and ward off. So for example, Susan can just punch to me and I can just go straight into ward off, straight into rollback. So if she punches, I can just go straight into rollback. My non-existent Chinese, I'm told that Lu, which is rollback, and Yali can correct me, actually means like stroking your beard, going with the flow. So you essentially go the direction that your opponent's going. So if she's punching, I will just go in the same direction that she goes. And then that's essentially rollback. Press. So let's say I've done rollback here. So I'm trying to do rollback. So now I've got, remember we started this way? So she went the other way. So now I'm here. How does she counter that? By going the elbow the other way again. So now how do I counter this? I press out. So this is the press. So let's show that again. So let's say we're here, roll back, Susan counters. Now I'm in a position to do press. The last one is push. So what do we think about when we do push? So push, actually, let's say Susan is doing a push. I'm just going to connect here and push out. So I'm going to release and push out. So that's this movement that we do when we do push. It's actually absorbing the energy of your opponent and then just pushing them back out again. Thank you. Any questions? Let's do the grass birds. Yes, Yali.
I was going to just thank Susan. It was fabulous demonstration. It looked like you two have been practicing because at times it looked risky to Susan.
Well, it's risky to me because Susan's the one who can do Aikido. So if I don't watch myself, she can counter. Okay, so let's just do what we did today. So we're going to, and I'll face in the same direction as you. We're going to start in ward off left. So perform a left bow stance, and we're going to go into ward off right. I'll just give cues. Shift weight slightly to the right, pivot on the right heel, arm goes to the right slightly. Come to the left, grab and pull with the left hand, right arm turns out, close and root, ward off right. Check that your right elbow is in line with the right knee, that your head is up, your torso is tilted forward. Roll back, both arms rotate as you swing to the right. Now from up to down, do a rollback. Press with body turning. Left arm presses up against right, pushing up and out. Press, flatten the palms. Sit back, both palms, they sit in front of you. Now push your opponent out. Start with the legs and it ends up with the hands. Ward off left again. So in ward off left, bow stance. Torso vertical. Left arm to the left side, looking along the line of your left arm. Shift weight back slightly with body turning, turn in the left toe to the corner. Rotate both arms, right arm is nice and round. Close and step, ward off, right. Roll back, rotate both arms to the corner, sitting your weight back, follow the flow to the left corner. Press with body turning, close the left palm to the right forearm, pushing out. Yes. Push, flatten the palms, sit back in front of the chest and push back out again. And stop. Let me just mention a few things that I noticed. One, when we do push, the energy point for push is the palm of the hand. So we're pushing with the palms. So the palm is vertical and the palm is sort of facing forwards like this. It's not side on and it's not tilted forwards. It's sitting. And if you need to bend your arms to get your palm vertical, that's fine. You don't like, you know, it's really, I don't know anybody, you wouldn't actually have your arm out straight. So bend your elbow to make sure that your palm can sit vertically. The other thing that I want to make sure that we're all in line on is when we do ward off, the wrist is higher than the elbow. And you can see there's a sort of a slight upward slant on this forward arm when I'm in ward off right. Now I'm going to do a swing and a rotate together. Both arms are going to rotate. I'm going to come back. Now again, notice that I've got to sit in my right hand here and my left fingertips are pointing to my right forearm center. I'm nice and open here. Judy, you're looking puzzled.
I'm puzzled about something a little further on.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we can get to that thing a little further on. So we've done rollback. Press. So again, when we do press, check that your wrist, and the wrist is higher than the elbow slightly because you're going to push out. And again, your arm is going to be about shoulder height. The camera is higher than my shoulder, so you can't actually, you're actually looking down on it a little bit. But you can see there's that slight tilt. Flatten the palms, sit back, and press out. If you can, a couple of things to notice is the first thing, I think we're all good, is don't lean back. Keep your hip, your front hip absorbed here, so that when you come back, keep your tilt forward. And when your palms are at the back, try and have your palms vertical at the back here if you can, and then push up and out. Okay.
My question was about after when you go from push to press, flatten your palms, but what you must do something more than flatten your palms, because you have to
Yes.
hide them, rotate.
Yes. Yep. I left out a couple of, thanks for asking me to connect the dots. So I'm here.
Yeah.
There is actually a rotation here.
That's
And
right.
in fact, with this arm as well, there's less of a rotation, but there has to be a little bit, but it's mostly with the right arm. And then when I said left palm over right, if I do it this way, you can see from the top, I would flatten, palms will be here, and then my left palm goes over my right palm. They come parallel. Then I'd come down and push out again. So that's when I said left palm over right. It's when you're out here and then come back and push out. Any other questions? I'm afraid I talked too much. We didn't have time to do the whole of this first section. Let's just do Grassbird's Tail. And for those of you who can, we'll take a short break and then we'll do the whole form together. So let's just do from the beginning to the end of Grassbird's Tail. Prepare. Opening. Rotate and lift to the shoulders with a waist movement now. Upper arm, then lower arm, then palm, pressing the ball into the water as your waist goes back. Grassbird's Tail, ward off left, shift slightly to the left with body turning, open the right foot to the corner. Sit your weight. Drop the left hand, right hand opens, close and step, root, ward off left, torso vertical, hips level, looking to the right hand side. Grassbird's Tail, ward off right, release, turn the right toe in with body turning. Now grab and pull more than straight with the left, close and step, shift forward, ward off. Right check, good bow stance, crotch rounded, right elbow in line with the right knee, right wrist above the right elbow. Roll back, rotating both arms smoothly and continuously to the corner, sitting back your weight from slightly up to slightly down into roll back. Check that your crotch is rounded, your weight is in the direction of your front foot. Head up, looking in the direction of the corner. Press with body turning, close the left hand in front of the right palm, pushing up and out into press. Push, flatten, square the chest, sitting back, palms sitting vertically in front of the chest, pushing up and out, finish in push, and stop. Okay, we'll stop there for now, and I hope some of you will be able to join me for our little practice, and I hope to see all of you next week. 同学们，再见。